When do you fire somebody? When should you fire somebody? How do you do it? When do you know it's the right time, the wrong time? I'm going to tell you right now. There's 3 mistakes that an employee can make. It can be an ethical mistake, a value-based mistake, or a skill-based mistake. If somebody makes an ethical and value-based mistake, let them go. If they are just lacking the skills, keep investing in them. In this video, I'm going to explain this logic and everything behind it, and just expand a little bit more on some business principles that I think could really help you understand just this thing. I'll just start off by making it 100% clear that problems are okay. If an employee makes a skill-based problem, it's totally fine. It's part of their journey. So if you're a little bit watching this video, like you're kind of annoyed that somebody on your team keeps making the same mistakes, maybe costing your company some money and maybe scratching some stuff, breaking stuff, I get it. It's annoying. It's expensive. And I want you to bear with me here with this explanation. The first thing I want you to know is the biggest thing that can cloud your judgment when it comes to firing somebody is actually your ability to hire somebody. If right now I told you, hey, your entire team leaves today, how quickly can you replace them? Well, first of all, that's stressful and annoying. And you should be able to say, well, I know exactly what to do to get back up to the people that I need. That's a good litmus test to know that you are in control versus being held hostage by potentially a bad employee or two, okay? So let's talk about these 3 buckets. The first error that you definitely want to avoid is ethical mistakes. Are they hitting or harassing your clients? Are they hitting on them? Are they stealing? Like just illegal stuff that makes no sense, where really there's this quote from Warren Buffett. He was brought on, Solomon Brothers was going down, and they brought him on in front of the stand, and they basically asked them, hey, give us your testimony. And one of the things that he asks the people in Solomon Brothers and asks people in all of his companies, I think he oversees like 400,000 employees. And he said something that really stuck with me, which is when you are conducting your actions within the company, don't worry about your boss or anything like that, but you should really think about what if there was a reporter, an intelligent reporter that found out what I was doing, reported it, posted it for all my friends and family to see. So knowing that to be true, if there was an intelligent reporter who actually captured everything that happens in your company and posted it out there, what would your friends and family think? What would your reputation be like in the community? And if there's people in your company that are just committing these ethical mistakes, like saying stuff that is racist, they're drinking on the job site. I mean, you know it when you hear it, when it's just like, that's the stuff that's unethical. That's the first thing. To me, that's simple. You let them go, okay? Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to tell you to fire anybody in your company. That's your decision. You are in control here. There are labor laws, different provinces and states, different countries have different rules around what you can and you can't do. You should obviously have everything documented. You should give the employees a chance. It should be clear cut for a judge to say, hey, you know what, Mr. Bossman, you did everything you could. This guy had no hope. So that's a quick disclaimer there. So that's the first one. That's the ethical bucket. Let's talk about the value bucket. Values. These are examples of things like, is this person lazy? Are they showing up on time? Are they just very unhealthy? Do they swear? Do they drag their feet? Do they like to learn? Or do they not like to learn? These are examples of values that are just not required anywhere, but it's just a requirement for the type of people you want to work with. And if you truly are trying to run like a business for the next 20, 30, 40 years, or perhaps a business that you want to sell or pass on to your children, this is something that is extremely, extremely important. And if you truly did not have any trouble hiring people, these would be people that you would be letting go from your company. And I'll tell you a quick anecdote here. Brian Scudamore, he's one of the founders of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I think he is the founder of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And in his book, Willing to Fail, which I absolutely recommend you pick it up and read it for yourself, he talked about a time where he hated going to work. He hated his business. And the main reason for that is because he had 6 to 8 guys in his company that just dragged their feet. They didn't care about the customers. They didn't care what the company was about. They would smoke on the job site. They would swear, and last minute cancellation. It was miserable. And Brian just thought, oh man, this is, my life. I'm a bad business owner. This business sucks. Maybe this isn't as glamorous as I thought it could be. And then one day he woke up and made the decision and fired all of them. And he only hired people that started lining up with his values. And that's when he started falling in love with his business all over again. And so when it comes to things regarding your culture, there's this unfortunate reality that I want you to sink in. You are the leader in your business. If you're watching this and you run a contracting business, people look up to you. And you can deny it all you want, but there is a filter of how people perceive you as the leader, the manager, the executive, the boss man, you name it. And there is this adage, this management principle of you promote what you permit. If people show up late and you don't say anything, it's like you're saying it's okay to be late. And that's part of the effect of when you are the boss man. It's not the things that you say, it's also the things you don't say. So that's one aspect of the values there. And something else to throw you as a bonus, which is what I found and what I discovered, is the habits and values of my team are a reflection of my own. When I was lazy, when I chose to take shortcuts, my team became lazy and started taking shortcuts. It's actually incredible just how one-to-one it is. It's like a mirror. And it's one of the beauties of business ownership is the quality of who you are as a human being is basically the quality of who you are as a leader. The quality of who you are as a leader is the quality of your team. It's a cool thing that can bite you in the butt if you're not taking care of yourself and not trying to remind yourself what type of person you are. So if you're trying to make a decision about, okay, you know what, I'm going to let go of this person because their values just don't align, they're not doing the things, really ask yourself before you let this person go, are you doing those things? If you're not doing those things, don't fire anybody. Go work on yourself, become that person, and you can try to mentor and coach and give some guidance to these people and maybe show them a different way that they can show up in the world. And if they choose to do so, great. If they don't, and you are actually showing up as that best version of yourself or as hard, working as hard as you can to exemplify these values, then you can let go, because if it's a values thing. The last bucket here is skill. Okay, this is like if people are making mistakes, if people aren't getting the detail, their attention to detail isn't quite there, if they accidentally break things or they're a little bit clumsy, that's okay. Okay, if you can find people who are ethical and their values align and they want to learn and become better people, but their skill isn't just there, then really what you're discovering is an opportunity where you can get better at taking all that knowledge from your head and turning it into some sort of system so you can ramp up and train people in a more efficient manner. So that really is the true opportunity there. I would not fire somebody for their lack of skill. Now, if they're trending and they're not improving and they're doing their best and it's like truly no matter how hard they try, they can't get better at this, then the conversation actually becomes kind of easier where you don't actually have to fire the person. You can just basically have a sit down and be like, hey man, I don't think you're making the money that you could be making. I don't know if this is the right fit, but how do you feel? They're like, yeah, man, I'm trying my best, but I just can't seem to figure it out. I think you're right. I don't know if this is the right fit. Where else in the company can I help out? Maybe I can do some sales. Maybe I can learn some of the marketing. Maybe I can help you hire. Maybe I can drive materials for you. That's a good thing. That's basically how you would fire somebody if their skill isn't matching up, is they're just you mutually come to an agreement. It's like, hey, it's been 2 months. I can't give you the raise I want to give you. You're not improving. I don't know if this is the best fit. I think you're a great individual, you got great ethics, great values, but I just can't seem to get you to work at this specific skill set, right? And that's true. If you think of, if I think of myself, no matter how much I loved playing basketball growing up, basically on the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I never made the basketball team. I was really bad. But I loved playing basketball. But it came to the moment where it's like, my friends are like, hey man, you just are bad at basketball. So that's okay. And there are tons of opportunities to reallocate these individuals in your company. And if you can't, you can help them get other jobs. You can give them those references, and that's okay. But if it's a skill thing, I can hear you saying, Amber, I get it, man, but like, I'm not made of money. My margins are like super slim. These guys can't be making mistakes. Well, then there's an opportunity there in itself of your pricing, your sales, your marketing, making sure you have enough work, making sure you're profitable, making sure you're setting proper expectations with employees, making sure you're learning how to be a better mentor, better coach. Like, you're not just yelling at the guy, you actually know how to guide him. Those are your opportunities. So if you truly feel like you've done everything you could for this individual skill-wise, then that you are a good coach, a good mentor, you are patient, you spend, a month or so working with this person, they're not showing any progress, but they're trying their best, then let's have a conversation with that individual, potentially just repositioning them in a different place in your business or in another company that you can help them kind of succeed in. Because at the end of the day, when you're trying to build a business, you're basically trying to take all the goals that the people in your organization have and then lining them up with the company goals so everybody's going the same way. If people want to make more money, okay, let's get them into the skills and the work they need to get the money they want to make. If they want to learn and develop and learn how to estimate and maybe one day run their own business, great. Well, let's get you, running a crew, then becoming a foreman. Then let's get you to understand how to estimate and do all these things. But ultimately, when it comes to the skill set in itself, that's my personal opinion on, firing and when to fire. And you might say, Amber, you kind of said a month and a half. When do I know when really there's just not much like hope left for this individual? It's so case by case. You just got to have a conversation with the individual, just asking them, hey, how are you feeling? Do you feel like you're progressing? Because they'll know. Like, if they're not progressing and they're doing their best and they are ethical and their values aligned with yours and they're hungry, they'll eventually, their energy and ambition will start to just disappear and you'll notice it. And it's just about having a heart-to-heart with that individual and putting them in a better place where they can win. Finally, I'll leave you with this. Here's a question you can ask yourself. Knowing what you know today, if this person applied and you had to pay $3,000 to hire them again, would you do it? And that's a cool litmus test to just help you think about this. And as a little tip, again, I'm not a lawyer. It depends state by state, province by province, country by country. But some of the things that I've seen work is that an initial period of ramp up and training, when you're trying to figure out this person's ethics and values, and if they are a good fit, because, well, there's ways that, we can talk about in different videos about like what to look for when hiring to spot these kind of red flags. But if you've covered that track, one of the things you can do is you can 1099 the person, you can subcontract them for a little bit so that if you want to let them go, you don't have to deal with any like labor law or potential complications there. But then again, that's for you to do your own research. It's just something that I've seen. But that's it. I hope that answers your question. If you want me to talk about any other topics, put them in the comment section below. And if you want more videos like this, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching.